My phone knows things I haven't told anyone. The chipped Formica countertop felt cold under my elbows. I stared at my phone, willing the notification to disappear. It didn't. It sat there, a smug little rectangle of digital malevolence. Remember the blue bike? The blue bike. I hadn't thought about that damn bike in 20 years. It was my 10th birthday. I'd crashed it into Mrs. Henderson's prize-winning rose bushes, terrified of the barking German shepherd down the street. She screamed. I cried. My parents were mortified. The bike ended up in the landfill. End of story. Except I'd never told anyone. Not Sarah, not my parents, nobody. So how the hell did my phone know? I swiped the notification away, a shiver crawling up my spine. Probably just some creepy ad targeting thing, right? Data mining gone wild. I'd read about it. I tried to focus on the logo I was designing, a sleek, minimalist fox for a local brewery, but the image of crushed roses and a snarling dog kept flashing in my mind. Later that evening, Sarah came home from her shift, smelling faintly of antiseptic and exhaustion. She kicked off her shoes by the door and gave me a tired smile. "Rough night?" I asked, forcing a lightness into my voice that I didn't feel. She sighed, running a hand through her tangled hair. "You have no idea. 2 overdoses, a nasty car accident, the usual." She flopped onto the couch next to me. "What's up with you? You seem off." I hesitated. "I think my phone is messing with me." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Messing with you? What, is it sending you spam about male enhancement pills again?" I tried to laugh, but it came out strained. "No, it's knowing things. Things it shouldn't know. Things I've never told anyone." I showed her the notification about the blue bike. She frowned, taking the phone from my hand. She scrolled through my settings, her brow furrowing. "Maybe you downloaded some weird app, or clicked on a dodgy link." I've checked. Nothing. And it's not just this. It suggested I call my old high school friend Mark the other day. We haven't spoken in years, and it used the nickname only he ever used for me. Then today, it knew about this stupid thing I did when I was a kid. A thing nobody knows. Sarah handed the phone back, her expression a mix of concern and skepticism. "Ethan, you've been working crazy hours lately. Maybe you're just stressed. These algorithms are pretty sophisticated, you know? They can predict things based on your browsing history, your location data. But this is different, Sarah. This is personal." She pulled me into a hug. "I'm sure there's a logical explanation. Let's just relax tonight, order some pizza, watch a movie, forget about your phone for a while." I wanted to believe her, I really did. But as I lay in bed that night, the screen reflecting in the darkness, another notification popped up. This one was shorter, colder. She knows about Lisa. Lisa was my first girlfriend. We dated for 6 months in college. She dumped me. It was embarrassing and painful. I hadn't even thought about her in years. Sarah definitely didn't know about her. It had come up once, I'm sure, but Sarah wasn't one for jealousy. I sat bolt upright in bed, my heart hammering. She knows about Lisa. Was this a threat? Who was she? And what did they want? Sleep was impossible. I spent the rest of the night scouring the internet for answers. I read articles about phone hacking, government surveillance, and even more outlandish theories about AI and consciousness. Nothing made sense. The next morning, I felt like a zombie. I called in sick, telling Sarah I needed a day to de-stress. As soon as she left for work, I started digging deeper. I checked every app permission, every privacy setting. I even tried to factory reset the phone, but the notifications kept coming. It was like they were hardwired into the device itself. Mr. Abernathy, my neighbor, was always outside tending to his garden. He was this old guy with wild white hair and a perpetual squint. Most people in the building thought he was crazy. He mumbled to himself a lot and kept to himself. I usually avoided him, but desperation made me reckless. "Mr. Abernathy?" I called out, approaching his patch of scraggly tomato plants. He looked up, his eyes surprisingly sharp. "You're Ethan, aren't you?" "From 2B?" I nodded. "I was wondering if maybe you could help me with something. I'm having some trouble with my phone." He chuckled, a dry, rasping sound. "Trouble with your phone, eh? They all have trouble eventually. They're listening, you know, watching. Who's listening? Who's watching?" He leaned closer, his breath smelling of stale tobacco and something vaguely floral. "They are, the ones who control the signals. They see everything, hear everything. They know your secrets, your fears. But how?" He tapped his temple with a gnarled finger. "Through the devices, the screens. They're portals, boy. Portals to another world. I wanted to dismiss him as a crackpot, but his words resonated with the creeping dread that had been building inside me. So what can I do? He shrugged. Get rid of it. Smash it. Throw it in the river. Anything to break the connection. He went back to tending his tomatoes, leaving me standing there, feeling colder than I had ever felt in my life. That evening, Sarah came home from work, her face etched with worry. Ethan, I talked to Dr. Ramirez at the hospital today. He specializes in anxiety and paranoia. He said maybe you should come in and talk to him. I felt a surge of anger. You think I'm crazy? No, I think you're stressed and overwhelmed, and I'm worried about you. Well, don't be. I know what I'm experiencing. This isn't just stress, Sarah. This is real. She sighed. Okay, fine. What do you think it is then? I hesitated. I didn't want to sound like Mr. Abernathy. I don't know. Some kind of advanced surveillance. Some kind of AI gone wrong? Sarah looked at me with pity. Ethan, suddenly my phone buzzed. I snatched it up. A new notification. Don't listen to her. She's trying to trick you. She's protecting them. I stared at the phone, my hands shaking. See, I shouted, shoving the phone in Sarah's face. See, it's telling me you're lying. Sarah recoiled, her eyes widening. Ethan, stop it. You're scaring me. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to show you the truth. The truth? You think my own phone is out to get me? That's ridiculous. The phone buzzed again. She knows what you did. With the car. On Highway 17. The car. Highway 17. That was a memory I had locked away so deep, I had almost forgotten it myself. Years ago, I'd had a small fender bender. Only it wasn't a fender bender. I was intoxicated and ran a stop sign and hit someone's car and kept driving. It was my deepest shame. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. How does it know that? I whispered, my voice trembling. Sarah looked bewildered. What are you talking about? What car? What highway? The phone buzzed again. You need to protect her. Get rid of the evidence. Tonight. The evidence? What evidence? Then it clicked. My laptop. I had photos of the dented car I had years ago, photos I forgot I still had. I bolted to the bedroom, grabbed my laptop and ran back to the living room. Sarah was standing there, her face pale with fear. Ethan, what are you doing? What's going on? I didn't answer. I opened the laptop and started searching for the file. The phone buzzed relentlessly, each notification a hammer blow to my sanity. Hurry! She's calling them. Destroy the evidence. Sarah grabbed my arm. Ethan, please. Stop it. You need help. I'm trying to protect you. I screamed, shoving her away. They know everything. They're watching us. I found the file, the images of the crumpled metal mocking me from the screen. I slammed the laptop shut and threw it against the wall. The screen shattered, the hard drive whirring to a stop. Silence. Then the phone buzzed one last time. Good. Now take her to the park. I stared at Sarah, my mind blank. We need to go to the park, I said, my voice flat and toneless. The park? Ethan, it's almost midnight. What are you talking about? I didn't know. I just knew I had to do what the phone said. I grabbed her hand and pulled her towards the door. She resisted, but I was stronger than her, fueled by a primal fear I couldn't explain. As we stepped outside, I saw them. Two figures standing across the street, shrouded in shadow. I couldn't make out their faces, but I knew they were there. Watching. Waiting. They're here, I whispered, my voice barely audible. They're watching us. Sarah gasped, her eyes wide with terror. She tried to pull away, but I held her tight. I had to protect her. I had to do what the phone said. We walked in silence to the park. The air was thick with humidity, the only sound the chirping of crickets and the distant hum of traffic. I led Sarah to a secluded bench near the pond. Ethan, please tell me what's going on, she pleaded, her voice trembling. I'm so scared. I looked at her, her face illuminated by the faint moonlight. I wanted to tell her everything, but I couldn't find the words. My mind was a tangled mess of fear and confusion. Then the phone buzzed again. This time, there was no message, just a loud, piercing tone that echoed through the silent park. I felt a sharp pain in my head, a searing pressure behind my eyes. I stumbled, clutching my head. Ethan, what's wrong? Sarah cried, reaching for me. Then I blacked out. I woke up in a hospital bed, my head throbbed, my arms were strapped down. A doctor stood beside me, his face grave. You're safe now, Ethan, he said, his voice calm and reassuring. You had a breakdown. You're going to be okay. Sarah, I croaked. Where's Sarah? The doctor hesitated. She's fine. She's the one who called the ambulance. She's safe. I tried to sit up, but the straps held me down. "The phone," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "Where's my phone?" The doctor's expression hardened. "Your phone is evidence in an ongoing investigation, Ethan. You don't need to worry about that now." Detective Miller entered the room. He was a tall, imposing man with tired eyes and a grim expression. "Mr. Bell," he said, his voice flat and emotionless, "we need to ask you some questions about the events of last night." I tried to explain about the phone, about the messages, about the figures in the shadows, but my words came out garbled and disjointed. Detective Miller listened patiently, but I could see the skepticism in his eyes. "Mr. Bell," he said when I had finished, "we found your laptop smashed, and we found you in the park, incoherent. Miss Chen says you were acting erratically all day. But the phone," I insisted. "It was the phone. It was controlling me." Detective Miller sighed. "We're going to run some tests, Mr. Bell. We're going to figure out what happened. In the meantime, you need to rest." They left me alone in the room, strapped to the bed, my thoughts racing. Was I crazy? Had I imagined everything? Or was something truly sinister at play? Days turned into weeks. I underwent psychiatric evaluations, psychological testing, and endless interviews with doctors and detectives. They asked me about my childhood, my relationships, my fears. They probed every corner of my mind, searching for answers. Sarah visited me every day. She was kind and supportive, but I could see the fear in her eyes. She believed I was sick, that I needed help, but she didn't believe the phone was talking to me. One day, Detective Miller came to see me. He looked even more tired than usual. "Mr. Bell," he said, "we've been investigating your case. We've looked into your phone records, your internet history, everything." And I asked, my heart pounding. "We found nothing. No evidence of hacking, no unusual activity. Your phone appears to be perfectly normal." I felt a wave of despair wash over me. "But the messages," I said, "the notifications. They were real." Detective Miller hesitated. "We did find something interesting, though. Remember that incident you talked about with the car on Highway 17? I nodded, my stomach churning. "We found a police report from that night. A hit and run. The victim was seriously injured." The case was never solved. I stared at him, my mind reeling. "We also found something else," Detective Miller continued. "Your high school friend, Mark, the one who called you by that nickname. We spoke to him. He said you were always a bit paranoid, that you had a tendency to see things that weren't there." I didn't say anything. Detective Miller sighed. "Mr. Bell, I'm starting to think that maybe this phone thing is all in your head. Maybe you're projecting your own fears and anxieties onto it." He paused, then added, "But I also have to admit there's something about this case that doesn't sit right with me." He took out his cell phone and stared at the screen. A couple people from the station started to complain about their phones acting up. It started happening right after your situation. He pulled out his phone and turned the screen towards me. A new notification popped up from a news agency saying another person reports strange activity on their personal electronic device. The detective left me alone with my thoughts. I am still committed at the facility. There have been no further incidents with my phone, but the lingering feeling remains. That somebody or something is watching. I asked Sarah if she would be willing to bring the phone to show Detective Miller. She said she had already returned it. The nurse came in to give me my medication. As she was about to walk out, she said, "I just got a new phone the other day. Maybe I will show it to you sometime." She gave me a sinister smile and continued her work.